Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper. This is another video on Raid Shadow Legends and another in our series of I Built Them So You Don't Have To. But before we get to that, I want to talk about a couple things that are close to my heart. Number one is the month of November, which is a charity that kind of focuses around men's health. And I had in the past years done mental health as my kind of focus, and we had raised money for that cause, and it was absolutely worth including a 12-hour stream, not to mention the entire month of November. I actually donated my funds. I matched your funds with mine, and we donated them to the charity of November. However, this year I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep the beautiful main here, and we're going to do something different, which is going to be in the month of February. Why am I announcing that now? Well, number one, so you know that I'm not doing November this year. But number two, because it's going to answer a question a lot of you have asked of me of late, which is what's with the pink beanie? What's with the pink toque? What's with the pink cap? Whatever you want to call it. Toboggan for you crazies in Michigan. That's a sleigh that goes downhill. But nonetheless, I want to tell you the story of this. I'm going to try to do it without breaking down. I have failed immensely every time because this really hits close to home, because a personal friend of mine in high school was bullied mercilessly, did try to take his life, thankfully failed. But so this is a very important charity to me, and this is a very important cause that we're going to do in February, so stay tuned for that. But let me try to tell you the story before I break down and start bawling like a little child again, and that is the mission of Pink Shirt Day from the CKNW Kids Fund. Bullying is a major problem in our schools, workplaces, homes, and online. Over the month of February and throughout the year, the CKNW Kids Fund Pink Shirt Day aims to raise awareness for these issues, as well as raise funds to support programs that foster children's healthy self-esteem. Our story. David Shepard, Travis Price, and their teenage friends in Nova Scotia, a small town in Nova Scotia, organized a high school protest to wear pink in sympathy of a grade 9 boy who was being bullied for wearing a pink shirt. They took a stand up against bullying when they protested against harassment of a new grade 9 student by distributing pink shirts to all the boys in the school. Says Mr. Price, 17 at the time, I learned that two people can come with an idea, run with it, and it can do wonders. He organized the protest. Finally, someone stood up for a weaker kid. So Mr. Shepard and some others headed off to a discount store, bought 50 pink tank tops. They sent out a message to schoolmates that night, and the next morning they hauled in the shirts to school in a plastic bag. As they stood in the foyer handing out the shirts, the bullied boy walked in. His face spoke volumes. It looked like a huge weight was lifted off his shoulders, Mr. Price recalled. The bullies were never heard from again. After this act of kindness in 2007, CKNW was inspired to help others of youth affected with bullying, with many staff members wearing pink shirts and collecting funds to support the Boys and Girls Clubs across Canada. Since then, the idea has only grown each year with worldwide support and participation. Countries across the globe are now organizing anti-bullying fundraisers of their own, including Japan, New Zealand, China, Panama, and numerous others. In fact, last year alone, people in almost 180 countries shared their support of Pink Shirt Day through social media posts and donations. So what we're going to do is in February, we're going to do that, and we're going to aim for February 23rd, which is the official Pink Shirt Day. I'm going to be wearing probably this. I'm going to see if I can get a pink shirt that fits my fat ass, and if I can do that, we'll wear a pink shirt as well. And we'll probably do a 12-hour stream. I don't even know what day of the month that is. Hopefully, I'll just have to take a day off work or whatever. But we'll do like a 12-hour charity stream. And as always, I will match your donations and put them towards this cause, which to me means everything. To me, and it means everything to the people that I saw get bullied, and it's only worse now than it was when I was growing up, so I can't even imagine the stress and pain that certain people go through in their high school days and junior high days, and anything we can do to help them feel good about themselves and feel supported and loved and wanted and help mental health issues among children is absolutely paramount to me. So that is the story of the beanie that I wear every day. That is the story of Pink Shirt Day. Stay tuned for February, where we will do some fundraising for that worthy cause. Now, with that blubberfest out of the way, let's get on to the video. So we're going to talk about my latest build and the I Build Them series, and that is Kunoichi. So without further ado, let's take a look at Kunoichi. Poison Piercing. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75 but will do 100% chance of placing a leech debuff for 2 turns. Interpose. Places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Fills the champion's turn meter by 50%. Sever Muscle. Attacks one enemy. Has a 30% bookable to 40% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Blooded Grit. Places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever their HP drops below 50%. All right, so there's your preview on Kunoichi. I do want to let you know that I did, in a prior attempt at filming this, I was having some problems with some delay, some weird delay on my video for my camera. So I ended up refilming it now, but I did test her out in Savage gear, gave her some pretty good, strong endgame Soulless, basically stole Souless's gear. She does do decent damage, but we're going to explain why in a little bit, why I decided not to go with a damage build on her and instead went with the build that I currently have. So with that said, let's go take a look at what I did for Masteries and Artifacts. All right, here is how I have her built out right here. I put her in immunity gear because I want to test her in the arena and see if we can't somehow make that work on a go second team. So we're going to try that out. She is a defense-based champion, so we loaded her to the gills with defense. Let's take a look at it. We have 7,000 defense, 44k HP, 231 speed. We have very low crit rate and crit damage. In fact, that's too high, but it's the best I can do. We did get some artifact crit damage and crit rate there, unfortunately, and 251 accuracy for that leech, more for in the PvP escape. And then we'll take a look at her masteries. I probably should have put her in Bulwark, but I did put her in Iron Skin. It's the first champion I've ever put in Iron Skin. At the end of the day, that 5% damage may not make a huge difference, but I do probably suggest that you put her in Bulwark, or if you're low on accuracy, maybe put her in Eagle Eye. So that's how we have her built out in immunity. So we're going to take her into a Doom Tower dungeon to kind of get an idea of how she's usable. We're also going to take her into the arena, and we'll talk about some other areas that, while I won't do the testing for this video, or maybe we probably won't do the testing for the video just because I'm so low on silver. I don't know if I can re-gear her for Hydra, but I do want to talk about her possibilities and where she might be useful for Hydra, and of course Faction Wars, which unfortunately isn't open for several days, and I really need to get this video out for you. So so let's now first head into the arena and see if we can't do something with her there. All right, so we've jumped into the arena. I honestly, it's so hard to test go second teams, defensive based teams. We're gonna try our best here to make this happen for you. So here is what we have. We're up against it, and thankfully we're gonna get a chance to at least go, and we're gonna do all the usual fixings, but we're gonna put this this ally protect on, and the theory is give us all the damage you want, we don't care. She's gonna absorb a ton of that damage. She can also put a nice little leech on there, which is gonna help survivability. Let's throw this up there, see if we can get some good damage. I'm actually curious to see if she can withhold. Now, she might be the target because of the weak affinity. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know what to do here. I don't know if this is the right move. This is probably going to cost me. So there, she did put the block damage. So that's a good thing that she did ally protect. You see, that's where she's useful. She's kind of like a baby Kyoku. Now, I don't think I can win this fight. I didn't really bring in the right comp. I just wanted to show you that because she has that block damage, and because she has the ally protect, she's going to be there and she's going to be able to protect. Now, that was a full a full Mordu Macabre on my Mithrala, and she still has a ton of health left. That peril is a soul-sucking level of damage. So I'm actually kind of stoked that it was able to do that. I don't know if we can do it again. Now here's the problem with her. Once that damage is gone, there's a 5-turn cooldown on it, and ultimately that's going to stop us from really doing the kind of damage we want. Interesting, I did like 0 damage on that. That's kind of interesting, but that's fine. We can bring her back alive. We'll see if, like I said, this is, to me, this is where she fails. Is that there's a delay between the cooldown of her passive and the cooldown of her ally protect. So now she's gonna put that up ally protect, but she can die now. She can die from this damage. But again, this is actually, again, like I said, this is actually a pretty good example because we had a 2-turn stone skin that we were dealing with, and this is giving us every chance in the world to kind of wear off all that crap that Ultimate Death Knight has that we have to get through, including the bolster set and including, of course, the 2-turn stone skin. And it's doing pretty good here. She's keeping them all alive. I fully believe that. She's taking a ton of damage. She's absorbing a ton of damage. She's going to put that leech, which is going to help other people live. And let's see what... Oh, yeah, that was stupid. He's in stone skin. This is fun, actually. It's just a complete... keep turning around. She's actually probably got it activated now, or if not, pretty close. As long as my champions live here, she should be able to get that ally protect up again. Now, this ally protect, she should be able to put stone skin on. So this is actually a really good... This might be the best example I had. Let's see if we can kill this guy. No, not even close. Oh yeah, I know why. Because this guy's got to die first. But this... without even knowing... Like, look at that. Look at just nothing. Right? Because we are absorbing so much damage from that ally protect with all the other buffs up. She does actually, in my opinion, work as a budget Kyoku. I think that's an honest representation of her. She's not quite good as what Kyoku brings to the table. I think that should be obvious, but what she does do is pretty close. There, she took some damage and she survived because, of course, anything less than 50%. What I don't like is, you saw it there, she actually she took the damage and then put up the block, which is not good. That's not a great... I was hoping it'd be more like a Sandlash Survivor, where it's kind of part and parcel. But nonetheless, we're gonna win this fight, and I believe that she was a big part of that. So this is a really great example of where you can use her as a budget Kyoku, some sort of deal. As good, no, but hey, any advantage you can get in the arena. Can you imagine 3v3? You're in that gold 1, gold 2, and a champion like this, you can just kind of slow play it in. So Kunoichi, I think that's a pretty good representation of what she can do. I wish it would have damage taken figures, because I think she did, obviously. She lived through several Mordu Macabre attacks. None of my champions got locked out, and that allowed me just to slowly play through. And this is, by the way, I used a Trunda, my Stone Skin's Trunda, but I used it against 3/4 Affinity champions and was still able to survive long enough because of Mithrala, Kunoichi, and Duchess to be able to get back on this. Now, I don't know how good Surgeon is, but he's 100 level. We're in near Platinum. We're 100 and a few points away. These are top fighting. Actually, when I got this, I don't think I Did I just redo this? I don't think I did. Anyway, I think that's a top tier team, right? It's a top hard team, and we were able to do that for her. So next, I want to take her into the Doom Tower and kind of show her in PvE and what she's going to do. Very similar to this, but you know, it's good to know that that's kind of what she's going to be for all the other areas of the game. So let's head there now. All right, so here we are in Secret Room 3, hard level, defense only. She's going to fit into this, and this is kind of how you're going to use her in all PvE scenarios. This could be Faction Wars, this could be Doom Tower, higher Doom Tower levels. It doesn't really matter. She's going to do the same sort of deal, and she's just going to be there to keep your other champions alive. This one's a very specific scenario. What we're actually going to do is, I wanted to start it manual just because this Doom Tower is very slow. Higher level Doom Tower, obviously they're faster champions, but we don't need that ally. Actually, I probably should have stopped it there because of thing, but she's going to be very nice for you just to keep your champions alive when they need to be. She's going to be very complimentary to whatever champions you have. It does not matter. I've actually, as I've tested her, I've kind of grown more and more attached to her as a champion. I think she serves a purpose in this game. Now, there are a couple failings, and we'll talk about those failings in the final thoughts. But overall, I think this is a champion that you can use in a lot of areas of the game to help you progress through the game. And I think that being that it's a 3-turn, and that's a huge deal, she's a 3-turn ally protect instead of a 4-turn. It does allow you a lot more flexibility in using her in different areas of the game. And that's something that's often been a bit of a criticize of Epic champions, is that the cooldowns are too long, or there's something, something to that ilk that's just going to make it difficult and more difficult to be able to use them in these scenarios. But in this case, she's got a 3-turn cooldown. She's going to protect your champions very well. You can see we got her to 7k. I did not steal my best defense gear. I did put some pretty solid gear on, I'm not going to lie to you. I do have her in defense boost boots. I have her defense chest, defense gloves, defense banner, defense all the way through, right? And then the top, I was looking for double defense, single defense. So I do have her in good gear. I'm not going to lie. She's pretty strong gear, but I do actually have better. I could probably get her to 73, 74. And the reason why I took the mastery I did is because I wanted to get her to that point. And overall, I really like the opportunity for this champion. The thing about this is this isn't very flashy. You're watching this and you're like, whoopee-doo. I think really that arena match really showcased what she can do. And it's no different in arena from PvE. As far as her role, she's going to absorb damage and she's going to take on damage. And she's going to hopefully survive with that block damage passive until your champions can get around to doing like you see in this one, which is kill the enemy. And that's all you can ask for a champion like this, is give me time. The other side, as I alluded to, we'll talk about that in the final thoughts rather than here. But most of you will probably skip through this, my dithering on through the 3 minutes that this is going to take to finish. But yeah, I think she's a perfect solution for this type of deal. So let's go to final thoughts. I'll tell you about where she can best be used, where I think she's best served, and then we'll talk about kind of a couple of the flaws in her that you should, if nothing else, be aware of. All right, my final thoughts on Kunoichi. I have kind of fallen in love with her. I've kind of liked her. I fully and firmly believe she is a budget Kyoku. She is going to serve that purpose for you, and I think that's her number one position, is to really catch people off guard in 3v3 arena, where you can put her on your defense in a role and see if you can't do that. I would recommend, unlike my build, maybe let go of some of that defense. Get that resistance up there to make sure that no matter what, she's going to be able to go. Your best bet is to pair her with someone who's got some kind of cleanse, just in case there's a strip champion on a speed team coming at you. You can then cleanse and get her to go. She's got great defensibility. 1332, though not the highest, is a very strong defensive number for epics. She's got 17k HP. I will say that very, very, very few epics have both a strong defense along with that HP at the same time, so you can really double down on that and make her pretty survivable depending on your gear and how you gear them. So ultimately, I think in arena, she's probably not going to survive you to the late game, but if you're looking for that budget level, like I said, Kyoku, she's there for you. Now, as far as where she can be used in PvE, anytime you need survivability, whether it's Faction Wars, Doom Tower levels, secret rooms, that she is able to fit in as a defensive Force Affinity champion of the Shadowkin faction, she's going to help you. Anytime you can get Ally Protect on a 3-turn cooldown, that's very strong. I can't understate how strong a 3-turn cooldown is on Ally Protection. Very few champions have that of any affinity or of any level, legendary or epic, and let alone an epic. So I think that in itself lends quite a strong ability. Also, Leech is a strong ability, and it's something that since they buffed has really been a mainstay in a lot of builds in a lot of areas, and that Leech is just going to help some of your AoE nukers heal themselves right back up to full after she puts that on. I did allude to it, and I'll say it again, she also can do really, really good damage on that AoE. Unfortunately, you don't want to build her out for damage, and that's something I'll talk about when we get to kind of her drawbacks. But potential damage dealer here, but more importantly, it's a leech, which is going to help that overall survivability of your whole team. And that's just as a bonus, you have the weaken. So very good Doom Tower, Faction Wars, anywhere that you need some survivability, that ally protection is going to be there for you. She's going to do it strong. You saw it in Arena, and with that passive. Now, her drawbacks. Oh, I do want to mention one more thing. I don't have, I apologize profusely. I wanted to do this. I don't have the silver to do it, but I believe that Kunoichi will 100% work very well in Hydra, potentially. I don't know if we're talking Nightmare Brutal, might be a little bit overreaching, but definitely at the hard level, and I could probably push her into Brutal with the gear I have. And the reason why I say that, now, you have to do her high resist, because she is going to put that buff on her. But a 3-turn cooldown on ally protection, plus an AoE leech on Hydra, those are two extremely strong skills against the Hydra boss. It's going to allow your AoE nukers to do tons of damage and heal themselves up. Think Cupidus. Think, well, I'm not gonna do this. Any A1 AoE champion that does damage, you're gonna heal. They're gonna be able to heal themselves off that leech, and because they're hitting 4 heads and they're getting potentially leech on all 4 heads, that's going to heal them to full. No matter what the champion is, if they do AoE, it's gonna heal them to full, and that's a ridiculously strong skill, especially on a 4-turn cooldown, coupled with this 3-turn cooldown on this ally protection. This is the 2 drawbacks I have with her. Number 1, ally protection has a stupid piece of code that Plarium refuses to acknowledge, as far as I know. Let me know in the comments down below if they fixed it. I haven't noticed it. And that is the damage dealt on this champion under ally protection is based, at least somewhat, on this champion's crit damage. So I said she can do lots of damage, but if you give her lots of damage and you give her the ally protection, she's in trouble. She's not going to survive, and she's going to take way too much damage, and it's just going to kill her. And that's an unfortunate piece that shouldn't be in there. That's code that should be fixed. The other problem I have is that this is a 3-turn cooldown and this is a 5-turn cooldown. It would not be broken, and I think it would make way more sense if they're both on a 3-turn cooldown, when this one fully booked and this out of the gate should be 3 turns. I think that would make her very unique. It would make her better in Hydra. It would make her better in Arena. It would make her better in Doom Tower, but wouldn't make her overpowered. She would just be another option for people looking for cool champions to help them out. The other problem I have with her, well, actually, no, that's really honestly it. I was gonna say another one, but there's only the 2. This should be a 3-turn cooldown, and that ally protection should not take damage based on her crit damage. It should be based on the enemy's damage. It's ridiculous. It should be mitigating damage of your champion. Like, I don't even understand. Oh, there is one thing that I did notice that I'm a little bit suspect on. When she puts this should go up the second it drops below. Much like Gem Curse does. The second she takes damage that hits her at that 50% threshold, block damage should come up and should block remaining damage. It doesn't, which means she could die with this passive active. She could die before this passive has a chance to block the incoming damage. I know that's hard to code. I know I might be asking for much, but it would be nice if that were the case. But overall, I say this is a champion you can use, you can build. I think she's good for a lot of accounts. Probably not endgame accounts, but I think you can find a lot of uses for her. And when I personally get my butt out of the gutter with the low amount of silver I have, by the way, there's a personal rewards in the current CVC, and I'm going to whale the F out. F it. Payday's Wednesday. I'm going hard, and I'm gonna get myself back. I'm gonna be out of a hotel in southern Saskatchewan, so I'm gonna have 2 things on my mind. That is my girlfriend Amanda and the chance to win by whaling the F out. So both are going to happen Wednesday night. But overall, I think she's a really good champion. You're gonna have fun. Hopefully, I get a chance to test her in Hydra to see if my theory is correct and that she is a pretty good Hydra complement, especially at hard level or brutal level. But stay tuned for that. I might do a video on it if I find some useful results for you. With that said, that's all I have. Again, if you have the chance, check out the link in the bio, in the description down below about Pink T-shirt Day. And of course, as always, be safe, be kind. We'll see you in the next video.